Homelessness is a reality faced by far too many youth in the United States. Every year, an estimated 1 out of every 10 youth between the ages of 18 and 25 experience homelessness. We know the numbers don't tell the whole story. Even just starting as a young adult, growing up I had to pay things on my own individually along with my mother's bills. I didn't really have those support systems growing up as well, coming from a broken home. And my mother died at my early 20s, so I had to learn a lot at a young age. In the chaos of forced moves and couch surfing, teens and young adults often don't know where to turn for support with basic needs or to find a stable place to live. Before I couldn't really focus on school because I didn't really have a place that I could go to sleep. So when that changed after I got my place, I was able to have more leniency with my time and a lot more leniency with my comfortability, my mental health. I believe that the expectations are very much a hard thing to uphold as a youth, especially when they're trying to grow up and find themselves as a person. You don't really have a lot to vouch for yourself.
Limited income makes it rather difficult for young adults to afford rent along with other household expenses. And also there's a perception with the landlords about renting out to youth that makes it it's rather risky.
The fact that youth are youth, they're not adults. They don't have the ability to manage and navigate through the housing process as far as having a great credit score, as far as having a real employment, not just employment, but a career where they can sustain their rent and things of that nature.
A lot of youth are at a disadvantage. You know, they have education, they have financial problems, they have mental health problems, and so trying to maintain stable housing, affordable housing, safe housing, these are all just problems that youth are just managing alone with no support system, no resources, no government assistance.
A new rapid rehousing program in Detroit designed by youth for youth is help meeting those needs.
I was really happy and relieved, I would say, to know that the government agencies, the nonprofit organizations, all these federal corporations, they were reaching out to the youth with lived experience and expertise, and they were asking them to come to these conversations and come to these meeting spaces to put their input on these decision makings and the planning.
Youth ages 18 to 24 referred for rapid rehousing are given a place to sleep within 72 hours. Then caseworkers help them secure housing for up to 2 years.
From me being in a shelter, it kind of altered my mind, but having my own place to rest and having knowing it's not going away and I don't have to, it's very, very good for me.
My favorite thing about my place is having my own space. Being homeless is really hard because when you're sleeping in your car with no tent, everyone can see you. When you're in a homeless shelter, you have to abide by their rules. They're watching you on camera, you're with roommates. They see you as well. You don't know what's going on with your things while you're not there. So having my own apartment, I'm 100% comfortable, I'm safe, and I'm secure in that.
I like having my own space. Being able to come home and wind down after a very long shift is very important to me. Another thing is having easy access to the necessities needed for my well-being, and being able to go there is very easy for me now. And then the last thing for me is having security within my own home.
Well, I'm important to myself. My security is important. And then what's really important to me is having something to eat every day. That's really important. Taking a bath, all the essential things of life is just really important. And I really love those things. I really feel like it's a part of my human rights to have it.
Putting housing first allows youth to take advantage of other opportunities to advance their educations and careers.
Having my apartment, the difference is I feel like that I'm providing society. Now I have a job, I go to work, I get up every day, I make my own schedule, and I flow with life like everyone else. I'm a part of society.
The most essential interactions I've had with the social workers and the service providers were pretty influential with me staying on top of my goals and what I needed done, including medical goals, medical visits.
Over time, the share of rent that the young adult pays gradually increases while the amount the program covers decreases. This prepares youth to maintain stable housing long term.
My goals is I want to keep my apartment. Like, I like the place that I'm in. I want to stay there, and then my goal is to keep working. I work very close to home, so that's very important to me too, because I work at a hospital, so it's like not that far. I can make that into a career. I can keep my home and just keep building on, keep decorating it, making it my own space.
Within months of the Youth Rapid Rehousing program's launch, all 12 of the housing units supported by the program were full. The units are located at different properties across Detroit, so youth get to pick a place to live that feels like home.
And I got to work with Mr. Cooper. He was very helpful during the entire process and made the application process very easy. After that, I was able to pick from homes or places like apartments, but in my case, I got a home.
Mr. Cooper, my caseworker, he would help me with my housing, from moving my things from one place from the city to my actual apartment. He helped me when filling out my leasing to understand what was like the diction, the wording of what was going on, that if I had any discrepancy with the leasing, that he would advocate for me, he would help me, that I can always reach out to him.
Personal life, finances, employment, I mean, whatever they need me, whatever they want to speak to me about anything, I'm always open. I let them be themselves, regardless of where you come from, regardless of your education level, your socioeconomic situation. When we're meeting, it's one man to another man or another woman, and I'm being intentional on really showing that I care and that you can trust me.
We have to have those relationships because they won't tell us what's going on. They won't tell us what they need, some of the services that they need, if they don't trust us or believe that we're here to help them. Because the issue is they've been disappointed all their lives.
The Rapid Rehousing program here goes above and beyond. It's really amazing. They develop a personal relationship with that youth. They're going to help them as far as with maybe like furniture. They're going to help them with their relationship with the landlord and pretty much anything that they'll need to try to make sure that that youth is going to stay housed.
What makes it work is the financial support along with the case management services that allows the youth to have a healthier lifestyle. So we have facilitators who come in and they give tips on budgeting, healthy lifestyle, entrepreneurship, healthy eating, things of that sort, right? And we also provide an incentive for them showing up to the workshops.
What makes the program work is the fact that the youth are driving this. These are youth who has the autonomy not only to choose where they want to live, and all the other amenities that they have there have a hand in the decision making for them.
Youth Rapid Rehousing Program is one piece of Detroit's Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program, which is supported by a $5.7 million federal grant. Detroit Phoenix Center's Youth Action Board members helped decide how the grant money would be spent. They reviewed organizations' applications to design new programs and collected community feedback on how the programs took shape.
So we went over planning, we went over data, we went over where we wanted it to be, how we wanted it to look like. Do we want case managers, you know? So we were very involved in the process.
The Youth Action Board was definitely a huge impact in my life personally. I've gained a lot as an individual, growth, maturity, and a lot of insight as far as my goals and strengths personally.
The Youth Action Board has given me so much opportunity to grow, to become a leader, to know what leadership is, to make friends, but also to watch my peers, you know, go through their struggles, but grow out of them, you know, grow into better people, overcome their barriers and overcome their challenges and create those solutions for other youth based off those challenges and barriers that they face.
Still, challenges remain. There are points of tension between youth's housing needs and housing regulations. And expanding housing programs requires sustainable funding.
The criteria for becoming a part of that rapid rehousing program for youth, it may change. Some youth are going to be disqualified from it for various reasons because of a background or something like that.
Points of tension, I believe, through my experience with this is not allowing youth to assist or empower other youth through housing. I've had young people on my caseload who have, once they've become housed, they've moved in 4 people from another agency and who's experiencing housing insecurity as well into their home, and that's against the policies and procedures of and rapid rehousing program.
One thing I've noticed is that some landlords, they come into this process with a business mindset, not understanding the population that we serve and the things that we do. So if we could get them to be on board with that and create some type of eviction prevention plan. So if they do make a mistake, because they are young and things do happen. So if they do move somebody in, if they do forget a rent payment or something happens, having that relationship with the landlord so that we can address those issues firsthand and they not be so quick to evict them.
So many parents, teachers, they don't know that the youth that they're surrounding themselves around are experiencing homelessness. And I know this because for a while I did not know I was experiencing homelessness. I didn't know the true definition of homelessness. I was one of those people who believed the stereotype that it just meant you had to be sleeping on the street, that it could look like, you know, no food in the house or no hot water in the house, or, you know, places that are not suitable for living, basically.
To develop housing programs and other services that are truly responsive to youth experiencing housing instability, we need to meaningfully engage youth in deciding what those programs look like. Advocacy should be taken serious in regards to youth, and it should be noted by those who are in position to be able to help reform the system.
So this does not mean, you know, inviting youth into your spaces and at the table, but then you're not listening to them. You know, they're just kind of there for them to be there. For you to say that you had youth at the event, for you to say that you had youth in the picture. It's the only way it can be youth-centered, is it has to come from the youth and it has to be about the youth.
Together, we can prevent and end youth homelessness.